Okay, we're back for the second part of the Flagpole tutorial. As you can see, I've opened up Flagpole Stage 1. And there it is on screen. That's where we left it last time. And I'm just going to drag this over, like we did before, to the left-hand side of the screen and rotate it around a little bit so we can see it. Let's pull that back into place. So, we for the objectives of this lesson, what we need to do, we need to colour in the stairs, add some materials. We need to add the flag, of course, because at the moment it's only a flagpole, and the monument is meant to be a flag on top of the staircase going up. And then, based on the flag that we choose to add to our drawing, we're going to add something from the Google warehouse that represents that particular country. So let's start. I'm going to leave the flagpole white, and I'm going to colour in the stairs and the little round sort of support for the flagpole up there. So I'm going to zoom in. Zoom in first of all, using the magnifying glass, and using the pan tool, and using the orbit tool, so I can see what I'm doing. If I click on the paint bucket, which is next to orbit, it will bring out a menu, and the menu will give me a colour wheel, it will give me slider bars, it will give me a spectrum of colours, which I haven't ever used, it will give me default colours, and it will also give me a brick, a house brick, and this is a textures palette, and the textures palette is what we're going to use. Now it might default to colours, and you think, well, what's the point in colours? But if we click on top of that, we've got a wide variety of different things. We've got glass and mirrors, metals, roofing, stone, tiles, water, wood, and various other things, carpets and fabrics. But for this, I'm going to choose a bricks and cladding and siding, because we are outdoors. So click on that one. As you can see, it gives me a whole variety of different things I can use for this particular monument. So I click, and I can drag and drop various things onto various parts of the monument of my drawing. But what I can do to speed the process up a little bit, not that that was particularly tiresome, but if I select all of it, like so, I can then drag a material and drop it into position, and that will cover everything. Now it has covered the flagpole, which is unusual, but it must be because it was touching the other object. If I can click on that though as an individual part, and then if I go to a colour, let's say I go to the colour pencil tool, choose snow, I can put that back to white. Okay, so that's basically it. Now if I rotate around it, it will have done all the sides and every part. Again, if I go to the magnifying glass zoom extents, I can see all of it. I'm just going to rotate this around so I can see the front of it a little bit better. And I'm going to move this over to the other side. Again, just rotate that around a little bit, because I want to be fairly face on. I could go to camera and standard views and front if I want to get it absolutely precise, but for this it doesn't matter. That's enough. I then choose a rectangle. Oh, and we don't need this palette anymore, so I can close that. We then use a rectangle, and we want to draw a flag that runs down the flagpole, like so. So I've clicked at the top. Let's do that again so you can see. Edit, undo. Down the flagpole. Now this is going to be a little bit of trial and error, because sometimes we'll get it and we're on the blue plane, so we've got a flag that's sort of flying off into the distance. If I come down the flagpole and have a green line, I then drag out, and you might not be able to see that, but I've got a green line going on. Release, there is my white flag. That gives us a base to put our clip art image, so the clip art image won't go flying off everywhere. So there we go. Just rotate that around. Yes, happy with that. Very happy with that. So now I need to find a clip art image. So I'm going to go to Google Chrome. You can go to Safari or Chrome or wherever you Netscape or whatever you're using, Firefox. And I'm in Google, so I'm just going to type in, I think we'll choose New Zealand for this particular exercise. New Zealand flag. Click on images, and I need to find a nice picture of the New Zealand flag. I don't want to go for anything particularly big. You see there it's 2000 by 1000. That's quite a big picture. I'll go for something fairly small and something with a bit of a pattern to it. So I'm going to scroll down. 800 by 400 would be an ideal size. Anything 600 by 300 up to 800 by 400. Maybe this is a little bit big, but yeah, we'll stick with that one. I click, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to save image as, I'm going to save it to my desktop, call it flag, call it NW, New Zealand. Yep. And it is a JPEG, which is fantastic. We can only use JPEGs or PNG files in SketchUp. So anything else, it won't. If this comes up as a GIF image or something, a bitmap, then it's not really where we want to be. We want to be either on JPEG or PNG. So I'm going to click Save. So let's save that to my desktop. I then go back into SketchUp. The easiest way to do this is press the Command key on the keyboard and the Tab key above the caps lock, and we can see all the programs that we've got running. Back into SketchUp, and there we go. I then choose File, Import, and I find the flag that I've just downloaded, which is this one here. Now, what you may find is your format is on SketchUp files. The beauty of the MacBook is Mac software is these are all grayed out. It means you can only open files that are in this particular format, which in this case is the SketchUp file, which was one that we prepared earlier for Italy. But the example I gave you, we need, as we saw from Google, a JPEG image. So I've changed this to JPEG, and as you can see, things have started to lighten up. All the image files have become clear and full color. I'm going to choose this particular New Zealand flag, and I'm going to import. This flies along the screen until it finds a surface it can connect to, and it's found the flag. I'll drag that into the corner, and then drag into position. As you can see, it's not quite the same size, so I'm going to drag it to the end, like so. Oh. And click. And then I'm going to use this tool, which we've not used yet, which is the scale tool. You get these little green dots that appear, and I'm just going to choose the middle one and drag it up, and it snaps into position. Back on the select tool, and just to finish the flag off, I'm going to rotate this around, like so. Deselect everything, but click on the white square there in the background and press delete, and now I've got a flag on each side of the flagpole. What you might do is forget that you've got the flag selected, so always click on select, click off everything, and then you can click back on the white box, the first box you drew, and then you can delete it. So that is using materials, and that is importing images into Google SketchUp. For the final thing, we need something New Zealand based. I don't know. Would it be rude of me to choose something? I don't know. Let's have a look. I'm trying to think what is New Zealand famous for, and I've just seen a little picture of a kiwi there flying along. So if I type in fact, I don't need to be in here because I want to find something from the Google warehouse. So back into SketchUp. I'm going to get it from here. I can get it from the browser where I've just been, and that's where I normally go to. But what's nice about this version of SketchUp is they've added a button here called 3D Warehouse, and I can click on this, and it opens up Google's own 3D Warehouse. And all these images have been created will go into Google SketchUp, so I can import any number of things. Anything you type in here something will appear. So we saw an image of a kiwi. I hope this is not insulting in any way for our New Zealand folk out there. So I type in kiwi and it searches. You can see we've got various things that have been created. Kiwi benches, a very old looking kiwi down there. I'm just going to choose the first one because it's like a nice cartoon kiwi by a chap called Chris. I click on this and there's my 3D model, and I'm going to choose download. And it asks me, do I want to download this straight into Sketchup? And I'm going to click OK. So loading in progress. It depends on your internet, and there we have a kiwi. And oh, that's a perfect size. It's a little bit too big for the eat, that chap down there, but it sort of sits nicely under the flag. I drop it down so it sits on the floor. Now at the moment it's facing the staircase. I wanted to try and face outwards a little bit. So I'm going to choose this tool here, which is the rotate tool, again a tool we've not used yet. But I'm going to hover over, and this, as you can see, goes onto various planes. Yeah, but we're going to, while the kiwi is selected, I'm going to click on the floor, so we're near the kiwi. I've clicked once, I can then start rotating, click again, and then we can rotate it into position. Now this is where you might run into trouble. I'm going to click for a third time to lock it, or where it says unlock the plane. And then I'm going to go back to my select tool. Now I can do no more damage. I'm going to click on it again, and I'm going to this time choose what they call the move tool. Click on the move tool, which is the one next to the rotate tool. And here I'm going to click on the floor, somewhere near the kiwi, and I'm going to drag it into position. If I move this line around, as you can see, this is now parallel with the green line. I can move it this way. It's parallel with the red line. I can move it, so I can pan it in that direction, or I can go up and down. I'm going to choose to go up and down. A warning: if you were to click on the black lines, it sometimes sort of flies off into space. So you've just got to be a little bit careful with that. So I'm just going to click again. I don't have to click on the actual object and click away from it, but I'm going to follow the red line and put it into place. Finally, click on the select tool, and I can now rotate this round into whatever position I want. And there we go. There's a sort of a monument dedicated to New Zealand. And that is the end of this tutorial. So we've learned materials, we have learned importing imagery, importing textures, and we've also learned how to import 3D objects from the warehouse. That concludes this tutorial. That is the end of Flagpole Stage 2. So thank you very, very much for watching.